Hi, I'm Jessy, the tits behind Titty City Design. In this 6-part interview series, I'm going to connect with real people that are part of the Boobment. The Boobment is a social movement I started to break the stigma around boobs. At Titty City Design, we believe that by talking openly and honestly about our experiences with our breasts, we can take back the power from those who over-sexualize our bodies. Instead, when we talk freely about our experiences with our breasts, we can promote body positivity. We can help educate and share resources on breastfeeding and make postpartum and the transition to motherhood feel less lonely. And we can encourage each other to take better care of our breast health because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. So get ready to hear from inspiring organizations, entrepreneurs, and healthcare professionals in our brand new interview series. Be part of the Boobment with us and help break the stigma around boobs. Welcome to TittyTalks. Join me as I talk titties with entrepreneur Lindsay White to discuss her journey as a breastfeeding mom, the inspiration for the Little Milk Bar, and the behind the scenes of her business. Lindsay even shares a secret about an upcoming launch. Breastfeeding can be a challenging and emotional journey for new moms, and Lindsay is on a mission to empower and support them. As the owner and creator of the Little Milk Bar, Lindsay has built a brand that empowers breastfeeding moms to feed their babies whenever and wherever they need to, without shame or judgment. Get ready to be inspired and empowered by Lindsay's passion and dedication to helping breastfeeding moms thrive. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Let's Talk Titties blog. Yeah, we're just so impressed with you, and we're excited to feature you as an entrepreneur and share about your inspiring brand, the Little Milk Bar.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, you have such a wonderful story to tell about how you empower breastfeeding moms, and we just can't wait to share it. So let's dive right in.
Okay.
Could you share with us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to start the Little Milk Bar?
Sure. So I'm Lindsay. I live in Salt Lake, Utah. I am married with 3 kids. My husband's from Vegas. I have Allie who's 10, Coda who's 5. Actually, Allie's birthday is tomorrow, so she turns 11.
Oh, happy birthday to you.
Yeah. Coda turns 6 next Friday. And then Frankie will turn 2 in September. So she's a year and a half. But it's crazy how I started the business because I never would have thought I would have been in the mom space. Like when I was younger, I didn't want to get married and I didn't want kids. And here I am with 3 kids. And now my whole business is revolved around my children. Really, they're the ones that inspired me to start the Little Milk Bar because when I was breastfeeding Allie, my first daughter, I didn't know much about breastfeeding. I'm the youngest kid, never saw my mom breastfeed. I didn't have friends that had kids that were breastfeeding. And so I was kind of like new into this world. And I just remember hating every minute of it. I breastfed her till she was 18 months. And it was so a lot more than I ever imagined. It was hard. Nobody prepared me. And I was constantly alone. I was always in a bathroom stall feeding at a restaurant or in the parked car at a friend's house or in a private room. And so I was alone, like for the first 2 years of having a baby. So when I got pregnant with Coda, I promised myself that I would have more confidence and I wouldn't hide and feed. And it was insane how big of a difference that changed for me. It literally changed my entire postpartum experience with him. And I would feed out at the restaurant. We'd be at barbecues with friends. I wouldn't go hide in a room. I'd just sit there and carry on my conversation with my friends and feed. And it changed everything. So I was at a wedding and my mom told me I was feeding Coda. What did she say? She said, you should go do that in the bathroom. And I just remember thinking, if she had said that to me 5 years ago with Allie, I would have gotten up in tears, been mortified, embarrassed, and went and fed in the bathroom because I would think that I need to because someone told me to. But I had the new confidence with Coda. And so instead I just said, no, thanks. I'm comfortable where we're at. And we just kept feeding. And then on my way home, I was like, I want to let every person know that they don't have to go feed in the bathroom or go to their car just because somebody asked them, a stranger or their mother-in-law or whoever. And so I was like, I want to start a brand that is everybody's best friend, to empower them, root them on, and let them know of their rights to breastfeed in public. So that's how it was born.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, good for you. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey.
Yeah. And when was that? When was that?
That was we started in April of 2018. So it'll be 5 years next month.
Wow. Congrats. That's a
Thank
pretty
you.
big anniversary coming up.
It is. We're doing something special.
Ooh, exciting. Well, maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. Um, what I just wanted to ask you, since you started it and what you had like envisioned for the brand, how has that evolved over time, like over these past 5 years?
Yeah, well, when I first started, I knew from the get-go that I wanted it to be community based. Like I wanted to like have that support and empowerment for the women first and then sell products second. But I mean, obviously you have to survive, so you have to sell products. So when I first started, like my vision was, I had never like done this. I didn't know what I was doing basically. So I was like, I went to school for business. I had my minor was in graphic design, which I'm so thankful like that I just had to pick a minor one day and I just was like, oh, graphic design sounds great. So I picked it, and now I look back, I'm like, thank God I chose that, because I had the skills and tools that I needed to be able to design things. So I designed our Milk Maker t-shirt, and I was like, oh, t-shirts is something I can easily like dive into. Because I can just, call up some printers in Utah, see who's able to do a small run for me. I can come up with a design and they can print it on t-shirts for me. And I was like, that's going to be my easiest way and quickest way to help spread the word too. Like buying a t-shirt online is super easy, and then word of mouth, and people see it and then they ask about it. So my first envision was, oh, we're going to have this great merch line, and like baby blanket, we had our boobs baby blanket, and that's going to be, like help spread the word of our community basically. But then once I started getting a few years in, I started to notice the lack of support in the breastfeeding industry, just in general. There are so many breastfeeding brands out there, and all of them are selling a product, but none of them are helping these women. None of them are telling them their legal rights. None of them are showing breastfeeding even on their Instagram pages. Back then, like no one was. It was like so weird to me. So then I was like, okay, I want to start diving into products that women actually need postpartum, and being new breastfeeding moms. And so I was like, I think the first product I developed from scratch was our nursing pads. And like I worked on those for many, many, many months before we released them. But so it has changed from just merch to like creating new products and working on products that we know that the industry is lacking right now. So it's been a big shift. We still love our merch. We will always push our merch. It's one of the most fun, but like I love that we've had that little bit of shift of like developing our own products.
That's amazing. Yeah, those are so cool. I love that you're doing that. You have so many amazing products. Do you have a favorite?
Our alley bras, I love, and they're named after my firstborn.
That's so
When I had Frankie, my kids are pretty well spread out, 5 years between each kid. So it's almost like you forget that baby stage. So when I had her and I was postpartum, I just remember like sleeping every night, and I'm like, wow, like you want to be naked. Like, let's just put it out there. After you give birth, you don't want nobody touching you. You don't want tight constricting clothes. You just feel good naked with your baby laying in bed. And if you're breastfeeding, you're leaking everywhere. So you can't be naked. You have to wear some sort of support. So you can put some nursing pads in there, or I don't know, I've used dish rags, whatever. And so I remember thinking, wow, like there's so many nursing bras out there, but they're always constricting. Like they're supposed to be worn out and about. Or if it's a nighttime one, it just looks like something your grandma would wear. And so when we were working on our alley bras, I just fell in love with them so much because I'm like, wow, it's 2023. How has nobody like done something cute like this yet? And so that by far is my baby. And I named it after my first baby. And so the alley bras is number one, my favorite. My second would have to be our nursing pads too. Like that is one of my favorite. And then our original milk maker tee, that one's kind of iconic in the breastfeeding world. We love how much conversation it starts between strangers and relationships that it's formed from women meeting each other at the park. And that's probably my top three.
That's amazing. Those are all so special. I love that they have such just special meanings to you and how you make that come through your brand. I think it makes you highly relatable as a person, as an entrepreneur, and as a brand. So really well done. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Could you share a little bit about when you realized that the Little Milk Bar was really taking off, and what was your reaction to that?
I feel like there's like a few different moments where I kind of felt like that. So I think the first one by far is when we released the first Milk Maker t-shirt. And again, like I was starting off, didn't know what I was doing. I had never done t-shirts before. And I ordered like the minimum quantity that you could do. And when we released them and they sold out in 24 hours, I was like in tears. Like it wasn't even a lot. I think we had 36 pieces. It was 36 pieces that had sold out in a day. But like to me, that was like, whoa, okay, people, like it gave me chills. People want this, they need this. I'm not the only mom who's struggling with this. So there was that moment. And then when we released our, we had two sweatshirts that we released, our Rainbow Milk Maker sweatshirt, and then our milk carton sweatshirt, which I love because my niece, who was 11 at the time, designed our milk cartons for us. And we got them screen printed and put them on our sweatshirts. And when we released those, we could not keep them in stock that year. Like it was just sellout after sellout after sellout. And we'd restock and double the quantities and they just kept selling out. And we were like, okay, like this is a real business. We're going, like we're doing this. We're going to do this. And then the alley bras, when you develop a new product, it's really hard when you don't have investors. This is all just self-funded. And when you develop and create a product from scratch and you order it from a manufacturer, they have minimum quantities. And we're not Walmart, we're not Target. We can't order 100,000 pieces at a time. We can only order maybe 1,000 pieces at a time. And even at that takes so much money to do, like upfront. And so I remember I was talking to my husband, like, do we jump off the cliff? Like, do we put all of our like cash flow into this product and just hope that it sells? Because if it doesn't, like it could possibly put us under, like in the business. And so we were like, well, let's just do it. We believe in it so much. And then when we released it, we were like, oh, if we have product, I remember calling my fulfillment center because they do our packing and shipping, and we kind of let them know when we're doing a new release. And we're like, hey, we have a new product releasing tomorrow, but we have lots of inventory, we thought. And we're like, we'll have a big rush of orders for sure. But like, if we sell out by the end of next month, so like in 60 days, it's a successful launch. And then we sold out, I think it was in like 2 hours, we sold out of that.
Oh.
And so that one right there too was a big one. Like, wow, okay, like people are wanting these products that we're developing for them. Like I know what you need. Like, let's create this together. So that was another big moment.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be exhilarating. And scary all at the same time.
It's so scary because you're like, okay, let's hit go live, and if it doesn't sell, we don't know what's gonna happen, but it did well. So.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it's like it really sounds like your community has your back. And well,
it goes both ways. I feel like we do so much for our community, and I mean, they know we have their back and we know they have ours, you know?
Yeah, that's incredible. Oh, so much congrats on all the success.
Oh, thank you.
So you're a mom and you have all this stuff and you've got all of your family involved, it sounds like too, in a lot of your products, which is so cool and so like makes it even more special. But yeah, you're a mom of three. Like running a business is not easy. So so I was just wondering what, and maybe there's more than one thing because I'm a mom too, so I get it. That what is the most challenging thing for you about being a mom and running a business?
For me specifically, and because of the business that I run, it is really hard to separate work and family. And it's because like my family is so, like you said, they're so involved in the company. Like Allie helps me pick colors, like for the Allie bra. And like Frankie is in a lot of our videos or the breastfeeding stuff or a lot of our photo shoots. And so it was hard for me. It still is always hard for me. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at it, of separating when it's like time to be with family and time to be working. And I think a lot of that struggle was when I was working from home, there was no shut off. Like I'm at home with the kids don't know, like they just see me as I'm at home and mom's here. So we can talk to her, we can play with her, we can do all these things. But why is she saying she doesn't want to play with us? Because they don't see that I need to work. And now that I have an office outside of the home, I think it's been such a big like eye opener for all of us, like how much that was needed. Because now when I'm home, I can be home. I'm not working. They see me home physically and they're like, oh, mom's home. Now we can play. But before that, it was hard to like turn off that switch. But it's just hard always, no matter what. Like it's either the dishes get done or your emails get done, and never both.
Right? Yeah, they take turns.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's incredible. Congrats on having an office space. It looks awesome. Just seeing
Oh,
some of the stuff in the background and seeing some stuff on your Instagram that you share at your office. So look at you. Look at this.
doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it. That's so great. Um, so what can we expect from the Little Milk Bar in the future? Any little teasers? You mentioned earlier about a big anniversary coming up. Anything that
Yes.
you can share?
Well, we just released our retired milk maker collection, which was a really big deal. Since we had the Little Milk Bar, we've had people say, hey, like, I'm not I'm not a milk maker anymore, but I want to support the community. And so since we opened like the doors, 5 years it's been in the works of designing a collection like this, and nothing was ever very good. Like I tried designing a few things, I tried wording a few things that just never worked out. And until now, like we were so in love with this collection, we seriously, like every day we came into the office, we kept pulling it up on our computer and was like, wow, we still love it. Like this is so good. So the retired collection, we do plan to keep that around for a while and add more to it. So right now we have the t-shirt and we have a hoodie, and we do plan to add different colors, maybe some other designs, but have like a retired collection just to have in the store. And then we have our anniversary coming up, so we're going to have a fun party here where we can invite some locals to come hang out with us. And we are, I don't know if Tati will be mad at me for saying this, but we are releasing a secret birthday anniversary like hoodie, and it's the cutest. I love it. I can't wait to show the world. It's a lot of fun. Let's just say that. We originally designed it to only have it be a limited piece, like a limited edition. And we were only going to have it available for the month of April, but we love it so much that we're like, there's no way that we can turn this off at the end of April. Like there's no way this is going to work. So we decided to keep it around the rest of the year. And other than that, just more products. Like keep your eye out for, like, we eventually want to be the, like, you can come here for everything, nursing, breastfeeding, like anything you might ever need. We want it to be from the Little Milk Bar because we work hard on the products. We know what you need. We've been through it. We're working moms, and we're there to support the breastfeeding community, not just sell them a product. Like we really intentionally think about every single detail into every single product and how it can better support you. So just keep an eye out. We do have 1 or 2, depending on timeline, new products that we have developed coming out this year.
That's awesome. Oh, this is so exciting.
I think
And I hope that you're not in trouble. I know.
I keep looking at Tati like she's my mom. Like she's gonna get mad at me. Oh, I do have to say, because I've talked about this before, and my mom's always like, you always tell the story about me telling you to go feed in a bathroom. My mom has fully come around now, though. Like like we've talked about this. She grew up like where it was just polite that you get up and you go feed in private. So along this journey, I was scared to tell her that I was opening the little milk bar and to show her our first like photo shoot. I was kind of terrified to show her. I love my mom. My mom's an amazing mother. And, but that is one thing that we didn't see eye to eye on, but now she has come full circle. She is my biggest support. She was the star of our last video for our retired milk makers, and now she's all on board. So she came around.
That's amazing. Yeah. You know, it's sometimes it's a generational thing, you know, and we're the new generation of mothers. So we're, you know, it sounds like you're leading the charge. Yeah.
Right. Like back then they didn't have the education that we do now. Even my first time when I had Allie was in 2012. And so back then I don't even feel like the education, we still don't have the education we need, but with social media, I feel like word is spreading more and more. So like, I think the more you're educated on breastfeeding and the benefits and why a mother shouldn't have to go hide and feed, then the more you're on board with that message.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like it's just each product sounds like it comes from an inspiration of something that, you know, you needed on your journey, and recognizing that you are every other mother too.
Yeah.
Could you share just a little bit about your process of when you come up with an idea for a product to launch?
Yeah. So let me think. I'm trying to think of like, do you have a specific one you would want to hear about? Because I have, like, do you want to hear about our last launch, our retired milk maker launch, how we came up with that, or like the Allie bras?
What's most exciting to you?
Both. I don't know. We'll talk about the retired because that's the most like recent one.
Okay.
So I kind of talked a little bit already about how like everybody wanted the retired. So we knew it was on our radar. We usually have something in the back of our minds, and we have a list actually of products that we're releasing this year, or things that we want to think about and start working on and release early next year. But we have it on our radar. So we have a list of products that we know we want to release, or collections. And then we kind of like spread them out in a timeline of where we want to release them. So once that timeline starts is when we need to start working on the development of the product. So then we start searching, you know, colors of t-shirts that we're liking, what's kind of in trend right now. There's a hard thing with me because I love designing on white t-shirts. I love white t-shirts, but moms don't like white t-shirts because they get so dirty, which I totally get. So you kind of have to think a lot about like what is in trend, what colors are people wearing. I like pinks and purples, but not everybody does. So you it's hard to like find that in between and kind of make everyone happy. So like with the retired, we're like, let's go with a neutral because older women can wear it. Like my grandma's wearing it, my mom's wearing it. And also like, I mean, Allie is wearing my sweatshirt to school today. So it's like neutrals kind of, you know, umbrella almost over like every generation, I feel like. So it was very intentional to go with like a gray, a black, a tan, that kind of color scheme. So our t-shirts, we decided we wanted to do with like a fun vintage grayish black. And then with the hoodies, we wanted to go with a tan, but we didn't want it to feel boring. So we wanted to add a pop of color. The funny thing is we ended up going with orange, and orange is my mom's favorite color. And I'm like, oh, that kind of came full circle. And we haven't really worked with orange a lot in the little milk bar. So we were like, oh, let's do an orange. And it just looked really, really good with both of them. So I came up with the designs. which really I just look for inspiration everywhere. If I'm like driving down the street and I see something cool that's in graffiti, I'll like take a picture on my phone. I'll make a collage. I'll make maybe a Pinterest board. And then just start designing from there. Once we have the design set, I work with a printer who is in Arizona, female owned. I love mama owned.
Yeah.
And I send her the designs and the t-shirt colors that we've picked and what we're wanting. And she prints them for us, sends us to us, and then we get to do the fun stuff. Then we get to do the photo shoot and we get to do the video. And for every release, that's a big release anyways, we like to do a video. Mm-hmm. For me, this is so important because there's little details that happen with the collection and the reason why we're doing it. If you just release a t-shirt and put it on the website, it's not like people aren't going to understand the story behind it or why it might be so important. And video is just, you can do so much with it. And so we were like, what do we want to do for our video concept for this? And so is kind of like mini commercials, I guess, that we do for like our collections. And this is kind of a funny story. I talked about this in my stories this week. Tati came up with the idea of doing if you've seen the movie Hot Rod, there's a riot scene, and Hot Rod's a funny movie. Like, it's hilarious. There's a riot scene that is supposed to be so funny, but we're watching it and she was like, we should do that, but make it like powerful instead of funny. And I was like, I love it. Let's do it. So then we like are on our phone with our videographer. We tell them the concept. We put together a shot list for them. We do a casting call, like a call on our social media. If you're local and you want to come be a part of our video, come. And then we shoot it how we want it. And then you have to come up with music, which is so hard. And I'm so lucky that my brother is like a producer, has a studio in his basement. And then my niece is a singer. So she sang Lean on Me. And they did like a very beautiful, emotional version of it. We put it to the song. We release it out into the world. We always do a teaser. We usually do like an 8-second to 15-second teaser before to announce that like something's coming. And we might show a quick peek of the design, or we might just show the back of it. So a little bit of interest is there, but they really are dying to see what it is. And we do that a few days before we release the final video, which is our drop video, which like is announcing the collection. And so then we release that, and then we usually do like, we just like to involve our community. Oh, we do press boxes too. Like, this is a very long answer to your question. I'm sorry.
Well, it's really thought out. You really think of everything when you do a launch. It is
one of the biggest parts. Yes, the launches is important because we want our community to see why we created it. It's like important for them to understand the meaning behind it. And our press boxes are important because we have such a large community that we love, and we always pick, a few influencers that we've been working with over the years that we just love. And then we also pick, it's like a half and half, just random followers that are following us, or someone, maybe we shared a photo of them a year or two ago breastfeeding their baby, and they allowed us to share it on our page. And we just like to surprise our community and involve them in our launch as much as possible. And there's nothing more exciting than having someone who isn't an influencer and has 100 followers that's friends and family, and maybe her account's even private, but she gets surprised because she goes to the mailbox and she got one of our press boxes. And like, that is so exciting, just as exciting to us as it is to her. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Do you like, it sounds like there's a lot of effort that goes into your launches, which is incredible. Is that where you spend most of your time, or is it on the product itself? What do you think is like kind of your balance?
It's both. I feel like my time is split between both. Like, when I decide that we're going to release a product or a collection, I spend so much time on developing it and making sure that it's perfect. And then once it's done, it kind of feels like a relief, like, okay, we've signed off on the samples. Like, we love this, everything's perfect. But then like, it's like, okay, then the second wind comes, then the second part of the job comes of like having to plan out the launch of it. So like, the product development and launch is probably the two main focuses that I focus on. But I have an amazing team to kind of help fill in all the stuff in the middle. We have our titty squad of 3 girls that do our customer service. And then I've got Tati, who's our operations manager, who helps with all of the things I do too. So couldn't do without all of them.
Wow, that's incredible. So much congrats. I know we are just getting close to the end of our time here. And I really appreciate you taking this time to talk with me and to share about all the things that the Little Milk Bar is up to, and you and your story. It's incredible. It really is.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we've got the Retired Milk Maker collection out, and we've got a little surprise coming up soon for the birthday launch. I
kept looking at you. I'm like, Tati's gonna get mad at me for. I'm like, we have a secret thing coming, but
we love secrets.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to promote or share?
No, just if you need breastfeeding support, come follow our page. We're on Instagram at the Little Milk Bar _ and then at TikTok, the Little Milk Bar. We're a little bit more fun over at TikTok than we are on Instagram, but we have the most amazing judgment-free community. Like, all of our moms are amazing. Everybody there is there to support one another. And so if you need any support at all, like, we're a good stop for you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. This was so great. And again, thank you so much. Thanks for listening to our Titty Talk today. Stay tuned for our next Titty Talk, where we connect with more real people that are part of the Boobment, the social movement we started to break the stigma around boobs. Check us out at TittyCityDesign.com, where you can find the Let's Talk Titties blog, or follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Titty City Design.